You are watching another episode of Shane Solomon Meets, brought to you by the Cornwall Channel. I'm your host, Shane Solomon, and today I'm meeting the beautiful, the lovely Jane Bayler, the Smart Connector. So Jane, welcome to the studios.
It's great to be here, Shane. I've just had such an amazing couple of days in your company. It's been fantastic.
Well, we've loved having you here. Now, you've travelled down from the deepest depths of London to Cornwall.
Yeah.
And a bit of transition. I go to London each month with Success CXP and I have a wonderful time up there. But the two worlds are totally different, aren't they?
Well, they are. This place is an ocean, an oasis of tranquility. It is just so calm, so beautiful, so peaceful and relaxing. And it is the perfect place to come down and have some videos shot. London's really busy, it's crazy, it's crowded, there are people everywhere. Sometimes it can be quite hard to get, some headspace, really. So I've really enjoyed being here. It's just been so fantastic.
Oh, I'm so glad. And of course, I'm very starstruck, because you're super connected, you're super talented, you've been there, you've done it, you've got the T-shirt, you're doing some amazing content here with us. The secret to your success, Jane, what would you say it is? Because it's not all been, fantastic. We've talked about that in the recordings today. Yeah. So you've had the challenges, but what do you think has got you through all of that and to get you to where you want to be and where you're going on from here?
Yeah. So persistence pays off is basically the message. We've also talked a lot about consistency, haven't we, Shane? Because particularly when you're putting out content, it's very, very important to get into habits and routines, because otherwise you'll just disappear and people will forget about you and so on. So when you're doing things like podcasting, obviously I'm a podcaster as well, showing up consistently at the same time, putting out episodes, being on social media, being very consistent about that, all of that stuff definitely builds success. But I think it's also to do with, just self-belief and whatever your motivators are. And I think for me, I've always been somebody who, I love it when people write me off or they say, yeah, you can't do that. And it's like, this is fantastic. I just love to prove people wrong. And sometimes that leads to me biting off more than I can chew. It has done in the past, but I guess that's inevitable, really. You're either one of those people that sort of accepts defeat and it's like, well, maybe I can't. Or you're like, no, I can do this and I'm going to prove them wrong. And I'm that person.
I agree with all that you've said. And of course, also, I think surrounding yourself with the right people. The right people that kind of stimulate your kind of same energies, I think is very important. I think that's how, you and I got on really well. I love what you stand for, what you do. Hopefully you pick that from me as well. It's always, for me, people first, profit second.
Yeah.
And for me, it's always served me well. You touched on your podcast there. I want to touch on it for a moment because I know that it's quite highly rated in your niche, isn't it? Is it second on the platforms?
Yeah, so it's in the top 2.5% globally out of all podcasts. So it's done very, very well.
Yeah, well, this is what I'm saying. I'm so humbled to have you here. And I want to say a public thank you to Lawrence Finn, who connected us.
Yes.
Another super connector, actually. I've got a lot of time for Lawrence.
Lawrence is great.
And a huge thank you to him. So can you give the audience, and certainly my audience, a bit of an insight to Jane Bayler, who you are, what you do, because you do a few things. Investor is one and a trainer is another. But if you can just give us a bit of an insight.
Yeah, sure. Well, first and foremost, I think of myself as a brand marketer. So I call myself the Smart Connector, and really that is to do with an attitude and a philosophy to life and business. As you said, we've had a fantastic time over the last couple of days because we both share the same values in that people matter most. And that's really what my book, The Smart Connector, was all about. And that's the thing that I really, really believe is that people and connection is just the magic, really. It's where all the magic happens. So on a personal and professional level, connection is really important to me. But also on a professional level, I really am a lifelong brand marketer. So, brand marketing, messaging, copy, the strategic frameworks that underpin business growth. That's really what I'm all about as well.
And what I also like about you, Jane, is that you are qualified, you know. So many people I meet along my journey, they're starting out in their careers, but you've been there and you've taken like a company, for example, and I don't want to drop too many names, but a company from a 1 million turnover to 6 in a space of a couple of years. And that, you know, is no easy feat. So, you know, you have stats to back you up. I'm a big believer documentation beats conversation.
Yeah.
You know, and you have that, and some great brands. I mean, I am going to chuck Coca-Cola out there because it's there. But how important is it, you know, for you to go out to the marketplace with these kind of credentials?
Well, it's a social proof, isn't it? It gives you authority and social proof. The fact is, I always knew at the time when, you know, you talked about Coca-Cola. So, you know, I just worked on campaigns. In fact, the Coca-Cola was it was a live event, but it was a big live event. But having worked for Discovery Networks, British Airways, ITV and so on, I mean, there were different projects, obviously. But the thing that they all have in common is that they're all world-leading brands. They are number one in their sector. Or they have that history. They might not be number one at the moment, but, you know, they certainly are up there. Sure. And I think when you're working with those brands that are super, super successful, they're not challenger brands, you realise the benefit of being chosen first, of coming first and having that elite position really in your marketplace. So I always like to take the lessons that I learned in those environments, working with those brands, and actually help my audience understand the importance of, you know, being seen as the best, really, best in class. And that's really, really important because that goes an awful long way towards building the business and the life of your dreams.
It really does. You've been in the studio recording some amazing content over 2 days. It's quite intense, over 80,000 words, I believe, in the scripts.
Really?
Was it? Yeah, I think it was.
Wow.
It was a lot. And for most people coming down, they would normally have a session in a day, but you've done this over 2 days. Can you give the viewers a bit of a hint of what's to come from this product that you've created with us over the last couple of days in the studio?
Yeah, so I guess yesterday we were working on the videos for my Chosen First funnel, and that is really a product that I'm terribly excited about because it's designed to put your client attraction process on autopilot. Because a lot of business owners struggle to get noticed, get the attention they deserve, and actually, you know, land business in today's very saturated and noisy online environment. So this is really a product that is designed to do just that, but actually without you having to do all the stuff that everybody else is doing, like getting on a lot of calls and just selling one-to-one. So that's what we were doing yesterday. And then today I was creating a few more short videos for that funnel, but also for my new website, which is going to showcase my whole range of services, including the brand consulting and also the Ideal Client Success Program, which is really for entrepreneurs who are a little bit earlier stage in their journey and they're just doing dipping a toe into the more advanced strategies, should we say, that are going to get them elevate and separate them, let's just say, from the others in their marketplace.
It's super exciting, and I can't wait to delve into your product myself. I think the sales funnel for my media company is absolutely essential. We've spoken about that. We'll work together on that. And I think the biggest thing is the follow-up, easy for me to say, the follow-up, because I live by a saying that I heard somewhere along the line, the fortune is in the follow-up.
Yeah.
And it's so easy to forget that. But with the system that you have, it kind of takes that, heavy lifting off you.
Yes.
And keeps an eye on those follow-ups, doesn't it?
Yes. So, I mean, technically, it's what's called an attraction campaign. So an attraction campaign obviously happens over a period of time. So I've actually designed my particular funnel to be delivered over the course of about 10 days to 2 weeks. But having said that, obviously, it's quite intense over that time. But then, of course, what you've got afterwards is you have to design the follow-up sequences, the email sequences and so on, to make sure that, if people do drift away, sometimes you have to give them every single chance to obviously purchase or get on a call or whatever. But if they don't, it's been proven that at any given time, your audience that is actually engaging with your content, probably 3% of them actually have their credit card out, if you like, and ready to buy. The other 97%, they need to be put into a nurture sequence, which means that they keep on hearing from you. So it's very, very difficult to do that without funnels, without email marketing, for example. Obviously, podcasting is a fantastic tool. And personally, I'm a huge fan of podcasts. I love to consume podcasts. So I think podcasts are really up there for me in terms of doing all of this. But I think the thing about a funnel and the difference is that it's a very, very structured piece of content that is just pushing people towards taking that action you want them to take, whether it's buying something from you or booking a call. So that's why I really like funnels, but they have to be done in the right way. They have to be, it's very easy for them to go wrong and then for you to fall at the last hurdle. And then you've done all of that work in terms of warming people up, so they really understand the problem they want to solve and the services they need to the solution that they need to solve that problem. But if it just misses the mark in some way, then you can end up sending them straight into the arms of your rivals instead. And all of that hard work you've done is wasted. So, definitely it's a precision approach is needed. And that's why we do it for our clients as opposed to teaching them, because when you teach beginners, they will make novice mistakes. So, I'm not a big fan of all these like online marketing training because, a lot of people fail at it for those reasons.
Now, you said there about doing it properly, getting it done correct.
Yeah.
Now, you could have made these videos at home with your own setup. You have a professional microphone. Why did you decide to come to us here?
Well, first off, we are going to be creating these funnels for obviously our clients. So it's very important for every single aspect of the funnel to be done to the most professional degree. So, I've even though I am a messaging expert myself, I've actually decided that I'm going to get a copywriter to do some of the writing in my report, just simply because they've got that extra distance. Now, most of the time, as I said, I would do it for other people. But sometimes you're so close to your own business that just getting outsiders in and getting that kind of extra pair of eyes for starters is very helpful. So that's one reason. The other reason why is because I just want it to look fantastic, to sound good. And it's the experience as well. That has been so unbelievable, really, from start to finish, and I have loved every minute of it. Being down here working with you, it has just been an absolute joy. If I was doing those videos at home, it would have been the total opposite. It would have been an absolute chore.
Well, it's very kind of you to say. And again, I always say that we're more than a video production company, because I really do generally love people. I like them to feel good. And of course, I want to say a massive thank you to Amanda, who did your hair yesterday. Oh, yeah. Amanda came in, did a wonderful job. And of course, a huge thank you as always to the Headland Hotel. You went down to the Aqua Club, where we've got a wonderful corporate membership there. And your thoughts on the Aqua Club?
Oh my God, what an amazing place. Look, I think I made everybody jealous yesterday by posting pictures of me in that outdoor spa with these incredible views over the sea and the glass of champagne, the complimentary glass of champagne, well, obviously organised by you. But it's like, oh my God, it's a Monday, and look at her sitting in this hot tub with a glass of champagne overlooking the sea. It was just amazing.
Well, this is what happens here at the Cornwall Channel. Excuse my voice is going. But when you book a day or two here at the channel, it comes as standard. Well, Jen, I could talk to you for hours. I don't have hours. You don't have hours, because we've got to keep this to a minimum for the online content. But thank you so much. It's been a pleasure to meet you in person. And I've followed you online for the last few months since Lawrence introduced us, thinking, wow, who is this powerhouse? Another powerhouse is sat in our studio. And I'd like to say a massive thank you to the team here, Mike and Jay, as always.
Oh, yeah.
It's a team effort. And I look forward to just, well, being in your neck of the woods and catching up again.
Most definitely. And, thank you so much, Shane, for all your incredible hospitality. The team has been amazing. The location is incredible. It's just these studios are in the most peaceful, beautiful part of the world. Like literally the whole thing has been such a pleasure from start to finish. So thank you.
You are so welcome. We'll get you down here on train, plane, whatever it takes, and we'll pick you up personally. Well, that's it for now. If you're not already following and connected to this wonderful lady, make sure you do so. If you know of anyone doing anything remarkable here in Cornwall or in fact around the world, please let me know. Drop me an email, shane@cornwallchannel.co.uk. On behalf of myself and the whole team here at the Cornwall Channel, for Shane Simon Meets, that's goodbye from me.
Goodbye.